Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We have guests in the house. For those of you who have not seen Richie in a while, he's been a busy man. He changed jobs, and so schedules change, and so do other things. So I decided to invite him on today because I have questions about the history of a certain group of people, and they place their history within the confines of the Word of God. And they're a weird group, a very weird group. You may know who they are, the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites. Last time I spoke about them, we had another individual pop up, and I think y'all remember he came to talk on behalf of Mr. Darby, and he didn't do a very good job of defending the status that he held. Not that they do at all, but we'll be going through their what should I call it? Their structure, their belief structure, and seeing if we can actually make it make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, I warn you now, I'm going to give fair, ample. I don't want nobody coming on telling me that y'all. I just want to make sure I make this plain. And I do know my brother enough to know that we will be laughing at these people. I just want you to know we'll be laughing. They are hilarious people, and so we will be laughing a lot today. Okay? I don't want to hear nobody saying we're mean, and I say that all you want to. I mean, it's okay. You can call us that. But when we find things hilarious, we'll be laughing. Okay? I don't want nobody telling me that we shouldn't be. If you don't think we should be, that's okay. But we're going to be laughing a lot. So we'll start off with Richie will be back. I think his computer just glitched out on him, but he'll be back. Apparently, they have been prepping recently. I don't know for what, but apparently there's an invasion coming in their minds because they've been doing a bunch of military prep. And the military prep that they're doing is quite ostentatious. Yes, that's the word. That's the word I want. Enjoy the prep for the military. Well, before I play it, let me ask Richie the obvious question. Are the children of God prepping for a war, the end times? Like, are we going to be fighting in a war?
I don't know if we're going to be fighting, but there's definitely going to be a spiritual war going on now.
But I mean, do we need to be doing push-ups and like prepping for weapons and you sure?
We gotta get that ready, not the body.
But what about jumping fences and no?
I tell you what, you don't want to see me jump a fence. That's a scary sight in and of itself.
That would be an offense, is what that would be.
It'd be poor fence. What are you talking about?
It would be that poor defense. This is them prepping. No excuses, no cowards. Here we go.
Let's go.
Run, buddy, run.
I think I can.
Bruh, what is that?
I just got a glimpse of the $6 million man in slow motion. Oh, Lord.
Again, I told y'all we'll be getting a bunch of our laughs out, okay? I'm going to get the laughs out the way before we get to the fun stuff. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. More training. And they did this particular exercise outside of a park. And their goal was to try and intimidate the park goers with their families that were there. And I want to know if you saw this, would you be intimidated or upset? Here we go.
We got Black Panther over there or something. Wakanda forever.
Apparently. Just wait for it. More fences.
Get it.
Now watch the push-ups, everybody. They're prepping.
Let's go. Get over here. way. Face this way, bro. This
Gotta
way.
get my knees first. Let me get my knees
This
set
way.
before I
There you go.
even think
Good.
about doing a push
100
up.
push-ups. Let's go. Where you at? Good work.
1,
Good
2,
work.
I'm
100.
afraid for my life with these people. I'm
All
scared.
y'all count, right?
Be like
Yeah,
counting
boot
like
camp.
Goku from Dragon Ball. Be like 100.
This is boot camp, y'all. I hope y'all are prepped and ready for the boot camp. Now, the reason we're showing you this is that's twofold. Okay, the reason is I want you to be sure of one thing, that these are the people that really think they're chosen by God and they're prepping for something that God called them to do. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly is God calling them to do with that particular, but
Living challenged.
Living.
Rick would be proud.
Rick would call them living challenge. But little background for those out there. Richie and I went to college together, in case y'all couldn't catch that. And in case you hadn't realized, we are actually brothers.
Yes.
Yeah. We're twins, really. Identical twins. Yeah, identical twins. So we went to school at a college named Harding University. And we used to love to go to Waffle House. In fact, we still go to Waffle House a lot. It is kind of the thing now. If we get together, it's Waffle House first. But when we went there, we encountered an individual, a cook by the name of Rick. And Rick was probably the best human being I had ever met in college. That man was hilarious.
Yep.
Easygoing, like, come on, man, just the best guy. So he had a term for people that were difficult to live around, people who are just a little bit challenged mentally. And that's putting it mildly. Okay, that's the kind of people we're talking about. He called them the living challenged.
Yep.
And that has not strayed from us. We've kept using that now against people, and I think this is a prime example of the living challenge. But they also, not only are they prepping for war like that, but apparently they're trying to cosplay, or at least try to be the next DEI hire for Power Rangers. And here they every last one of them are applying for either the purple or the black Power Ranger. And this is them on the streets. I don't know where they got the concept for the clothing, but here they are.
This is good.
Ready for war. Here we go.
Number 10, 9. War trumpet.
War trumpet.
Their trumpets are so out of tune, it's not even funny.
They're ready for war, man. War trumpets. Those are war trumpets.
That sounds more like a petrified trumpet to me than an actual trumpet. Oh, Lord.
And finally, well, not finally, the other side to them will get you into the idea of what they're going to war against. Again, we're not putting anything out there that they didn't put out there. We're just watching and enjoying it, okay? But if you remember the last time we spoke about them, they had a view of white people. And they believe that they have to have white people bow to them. And they've been successful in getting a few of them, like this individual here.
Hold on, here you go right here. Here go a boo right here. Here you go. There you go. There we go. What did you say? You said you're gonna have my mom kiss your boo. I'm not gonna just have her kiss my boo. Here you go. Put that boo up there too. You're gonna kiss my brother boo too. Here you go. Put the light on it. There you go. I got it. There we go. Next brother.
And that is how they operate. Now, the reason I invited Richie There is a somber part to this, okay? There is a somber part. I figure we get the hilarity out the way, so then when we get to the serious part, we can be serious, okay? And trust me, there'll be plenty to clown them about for the rest of the video, but we had to get the absolute hilarity out the way. And yes, Angie, she is a fool. Whoever that lady was is an absolute fool. If you think kissing some Negro's boot is going to make you feel less guilty for something that you never did, then you're an absolute idiot. Yes, like 100%, you have no brain cells left. You bleach bit them. Something happened, but you don't have them anymore. Okay, so their concept is that white people were the oppressor, still are the oppressor, and gave them the title of black. Ironic that they still call themselves Black Hebrew Israelites after the oppressor's title, which makes them absolutely retarded. If you are saying that the title Black is from the crayon box, which they will hear them say in a minute, but then take the idea of black and apply it to the title that you say God gave you, you're retarded. I don't know how else to tell it to you, but all of y'all that follow that stuff, you're retarded, like on every level. So the reason I invited Richie was because they have a idea that is from the Bible that they get this concept from. This is biblical. God gave them this ordinance. They are the lost sheep of Israel. So my question to Richie, based on scripture and translation, does the race of any of the children of Israel get mentioned?
No.
Are you sure?
I would say a good 95% sure, because in the entire time it talks about Jews and Gentiles. It has nothing to do with ethnicity or skin color. It has to do with a people.
A people. Now, so you're saying it's at 95%. So I'm going to quote Jim Carrey. So you're saying there's a chance.
Well, not actually understanding the original Hebrew that did not have traditional vowels as we know it, just simple consonants, that could be open for interpretation. But as a general rule, God refers to his people. He refers to the Israelites as his chosen people. He doesn't say you're my chosen white people, or you're my chosen, yellow people, or black or red people, or you're my chosen people. And we as Christians in the New Testament, we are God's chosen people as well. We're not called based on our skin color. We are called based on if we have accepted Jesus Christ for what he has done for us, and that we try to live the life that God has called us to live once we have accepted Christ.
What do you mean? If you can clarify your question. How are you taking one group and clumping all Israelites together? I don't think we've done that yet. Did we do that?
No.
Okay. Maybe you're not talking about, maybe you think the Black Hebrew Israelite did. I'm just asking, what do you mean? Can you clarify the question? Because it's a little vague. That's all. We'd just like some clarification. One, who you're talking to. Are you talking about the two people on the screen or the people that we showed the video of? And when did anyone on the screen or even there clump all Israelites together? If you can please clarify that. Now, we are going to listen to their own tongue, what they say about themselves. And then we'll keep going and we'll go into their history so people understand where they started in this particular venture that they have going on.
This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. What we do is we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans their true culture according to the Bible and according to God, man. Because we've listened to our oppressor, the white man, for so long that we've lost who we really are. We've lost our identity. And now we think that we're black, a color in the crayon box.
Make sure you keep that statement correct. We think we're black. So I got the answer. And so you showed one group and said, this is how they operate. That is how they operate. I showed the group and I said, that's how they operate. That they claim to be Black Hebrew Israelites. How, again, What I guess my question then would be, what do you consider an Israelite? I'm not clumping all Israelites because I don't believe they're Israelites, first of all. I'm just going based on their terms. Their statement is that they are Black Hebrew Israelites, not mine. I didn't name them that. They named them that. I'm just quoting their names. They said it. So the question is then, why would you think that I'm clumping somebody into something and some? So if you can, again, clarification, if you don't mind, what exactly do you mean? Because I'm still kind of lost. So excuse me if I'm still lost. Let me know what you mean, because from your state, it's almost like you think I'm trying to insinuate something. I'm not. I'm just stating what they say. So you said I showed one group, and I showed multiple groups. Those are different branches of the Hebrew Israelite groups. So it wasn't just one. The 2 training sessions were of the same group. The marching, a different group. And this is yet another group. The shoe kissing, a whole nother group. Again, when did I clump everybody together? Am I speaking a different language?
You must be. You must be speaking in tongues today. You forgot to do the Hamada Shabada.
King DQ, or yeah, look, Dairy Queen, let me ask you a question again. Did I ever clump all Israelites with the Black Hebrew Israelites? When did I do that? That's the question. When did I ever do that? I'm still trying to figure it out, because unless are you one? Are you a Hebrew Israelite? Because I think you might be. Are you a Hebrew Israelite? If you don't mind answering me, what a Hebrew Israelite is. Are you a Hebrew Israelite? I'm going to wait for his answer before I go forward, because it's very consequential that I get this answer. Yeah. I need this answer. Sir, kindly, please. Are you a Hebrew Israelite? Because I don't remember clumping everybody into one fell swoop. I don't remember doing that at all. Maybe I'm just blind. I'm dummy. I'm a dummy.
Or maybe he's taking something I said and saying that I'm clumping them together when I made the comment about it not being about race. It's about a people.
Right. So again, if you can please answer me the question, sir, before you disappear, because I have a suspicion you might take off. Are you an Israelite, Hebrew of any kind, anything? I'll give you a few more minutes to respond.
I am an Israelite, but not a Black Hebrew Israelite.
Okay, so why are you classing yourself with anybody? So I'm not talking about you then, right? So why are you worried about it? Did I say these people were Israelites, or did I say these are Black Hebrew Israelites? I'm pretty sure I said Black Hebrew Israelites, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so then it doesn't apply to you, bro. What are you worried about? I never clumped nobody. This is how they operate. Black Hebrew Israelites operate like fools. I said this, and I'm going to stand on it. But if you're not a Black Hebrew Israelite, why are you offended? Like, why y'all, you want a class, you clumped yourself. This is the problem. You clumped yourself in with them and then got offended because you clumped yourself with them and thought I was talking about you. Ain't nobody talking about you. If you're not a Black Hebrew Israelite, why are you concerned about clumping? This ain't about you, okay? If you think you're an Israelite, good on you. But ain't nobody talking to you if you're not a Black Hebrew Israelite. And now you're talking about, so you are a Black Hebrew Israelite. You are a Black Hebrew Israelite. Thank you for at least quantifying things now. You're trying to hide, but we know what you are, okay? And if it offends you, good. If it don't offend you, oh well. Don't really care. You're not answering clearly questions. You're clearly trying to hide something. If this applies to you, Dairy Queen, it applies to you. If it don't, it don't. It's that simple. Okay? I don't need to quantify nothing for you. If you say you're not a Black Hebrew Israelite, it shouldn't concern you. I don't see how this is difficult. Maybe English isn't your first language. And if that's the case, then this isn't the podcast for you, because we speak English here pretty clearly. I'm pretty sure it's pretty clear that we speak English here. All right. Also, we're not Black Hebrew Israelites here. We're Christian.
Correct.
So so there is that. All right. Cool. All right. Let's listen to their statement some more.
That's what you think you are because you listen to the white man.
Oh, okay. So again, remember this. This is what they say. The oppressor is the white man. We call ourselves Black because we're listening to the white man. Now, make sure you say that. Make sure you remember he said that, not me. He did. Okay. Mr. Turban Boy. He said it, not me. I'm just repeating what Captain Kingfish said. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Now listen again to what he says. Listen.
You ask a white man who he is and where he's from, he's going to name a country, a city, a town, a state. He knows who he is, his ethnicity, man. But you know who don't? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Oh, hold on. Okay, listen. Homie, you just finished saying that the white man gave you the title of Black. And you say if you ask the white man, he ain't gonna know. He'll know, right? But now you're saying that you're Black now. I thought you weren't Black. I thought that was the oppressor's name for you.
Right.
If it's the oppressor's name for you, why are you using it to describe yourself? Maybe just a thought. Here's a thought for y'all people that think like these idiots. If the name is offensive to you, don't use the name. Ain't that something? Ain't that a novel thought that if you're not Black, don't call yourself that? It's kind of interesting. Anyway, continue, Mr. Smart Man.
We don't know, man. We are the lost sheep of the children of Israel, man.
Okay, now this is why Richie's here. And in case you all don't know, yes, I have an issue here with some buzzing people. And if you see the camera go out, it's because I'm getting violently swinging, but I'll still be talking. I want Richie to break that down for me. Please explain to me what that could possibly mean.
Well, the lost tribe of Israel, that happened when Israel went into captivity. You have the 10 lost tribes of Israel, at least in the Old Testament. The only 2 tribes that seemed to have hung on were the tribes of Judah and the tribes of Benjamin. You didn't hear much about the other 10 tribes. So unless they are claiming that they are part of the 10 tribes that have been lost, if you will, or no documentation, then I guess that's how they're clumping it. Other than that, I don't know how they're clumping it. I mean, unless they've done some sort of DNA testing or something that shows that they're actually of the actual lineage. I mean, I don't know. I could say I am, I could say I'm a Hebrew, but in looking at my lineage, I've got, more Scottish in me than anything else. So, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to be able to say that I am a descendant of Abraham. I mean, without there being, some sort of proof.
Right.
Abraham's father of many nations, therefore we all descend from him somehow, some way.
My biggest contention with them is this. They preach this universal God thing, and in terms of the God, love thing, but they always have this idea that white man is the definition of evil. I don't know that, and I know that not all the sectors of them believe that the white man is the devil, but they do all believe that Black people are the lost tribe of the household of Israel. And they will go to tell you that there are different, of course, they're from different houses. One's from Jacob and one's from Benjamin and all that. They'll go through all that stuff. But what I can't ever get them to nail down is how they know that. Like they couldn't even trace back their ancestry through slavery, but they can track it all the way back to
right.
I'm trying to figure out how they figured that part out, and it's not listed in the book that they quote all the time. So I'm trying to figure it out. So that's the reason that you're here is for that, because I know the book has to have some sort of a reference for them to go back to. So maybe they're just misreading. They don't have it completely right. Or it's just that these people are just hateful bigots and they don't like other people that don't look like them, and they're mentally slow.
Well, the bigger problem is that, you start really getting into when you start trying to put color and things of that into the Bible that's not necessarily there. you start running into some problems. Because I mean, you can even go all the way back to when Cain murdered Abel. You know, God told Cain, I'm going to put a mark on you. Well, what is that mark? You get some people that believe that when Cain was cursed, he became the first black man. You can even throw that, which Cain then has no relation to Abraham because it didn't come from,
right.
You know, they're related, but he's not a direct descendant from Cain.
Right.
So, I mean, you really start playing what if when you start trying to mix things like color and things like that into the Bible, because it deals with a people, it deals with a lifestyle. In the Old Testament, it was about the people, and you had to follow the law to the T. If you did one small infraction, you broke all the laws. There was no, I mean, to really be forgiven in the Old Testament was a hard thing to do. You had to provide sacrifices, and you had to wait for the priest to go in the Holy of Holies and wipe your sins clean for a year. But the minute you broke another law, then you broke all the law. You know, it wasn't until Christ came that he fulfilled that old law, gave us the law of grace, gave us the laws that we have now, that if we do sin, we can be forgiven immediately. We don't have to go through a high priest, because Jesus himself is
the high priest. Right. Now they're going to go on to explain some more, I think. I don't think it's explaining, but they'll say a bunch of stuff. They never really explain anything. They just state something.
And because we are lost, because we have no culture, we take on our oppressor's culture.
So let me get this right. God called you to have a culture? So what exactly is that culture? I'm curious now. Like, okay, so you say so this is a social movement, not a religious. That's what I had to come up with. This is a social movement.
But they're going to try to use the Old Testament to justify them.
I will give them this. At least his Bible is well worn, you know. Yeah, he doesn't cut his nails, but at least he has. You can tell that he don't do no hard work too. He don't do no hard work. See them hands? Them are soft hands. He don't do no hard work at all. This man sits down, Chick-fil-A, and then thumbs. That's it.
The people that oppress and murder and kill us for hundreds of years, we take on their culture.
So is it only American that are Hebrew Israelites?
No, because the true Hebrews, the true Israelites went into Babylonian, went into Assyrian, went into Egyptian. I mean, there were different times that they were oppressed. They weren't oppressed by the white man per se. I mean, if you're really looking at the Old Testament and looking at all the times that, you know, Babylonians, there's so many. The Syrian, Babylonian, not the Medes. I'm drawing a blank.
You talking about the Moors?
No, King Darius. He may have been a Mede.
I think he was a Mede. Yes, he was a Mede.
Persians. I think they were under Persian there for a little bit. I mean, there was, like I said, there have been multiple times in the Old Testament that Egypt went into captivity of some sort, or slavery, oppression, whatever, multiple times. That's why in the Old Testament, if you look at it the way it is, it's cyclical. They'll start out, they'll follow God, then they get away from God.
And then they go into captivity.
Then they go into captivity. They whine and cry. They pray back to God. They get restored. And then you have this circular loop throughout the entire Old Testament.
Toddlers is what I call them. Toddlers.
Yes. Throwing a fit.
And that's the reason why you celebrate 420.
420? That is celebrated for a completely different reason, not anything related. Not anything related to America. Did they listen to Capleton before they started that?
He high. No, that dude's high. That dude's high. That dude is high. He is floating on a million rocks right now. He is up there. He is. Y'all ever seen Blippy? Blippy used to be a thing on TV. This guy that used to go to, it was a kid show. Magical Moon Rocks. That's what this dude is on. Some Magical Moon Rocks. Okay. What? Anyway, continue. Magical Moon Rocks. Go ahead.
That's the reason why you smoke weed. The only reason you smoke weed is because white men smoke weed.
What? What does that have to do with being a Hebrew Israelite following God? And I'm pretty sure they smoked weed way back in the Old Testament too. It's natural. But anyhow,
I'm trying. So hold on.
Wow.
The only reason I want people to understand this. This is per this guy here. The only reason black people be smoking weed today is because white people smoke weed first.
I bet that has to do with alcohol too. White man drank before they did.
Maybe he has more stuff that white people taught black people. Let's see.
That's why you don't smoke broccoli. You don't smoke grass from the ground. You don't smoke flowers, leaves from the tree. So why you smoke weed?
I'm not touching that one. Nope.
No, I can't touch that one either.
See, y'all trying to get me. Y'all trying to get my channel banned. Y'all.
You look at the other guy. He's just clenching that Bible a little bit tighter and tighter and tighter.
You're trying to get my channel taken down. Is what? Look, you got to be trying to get this. You have to. You cannot be seriously. No, you got. You're trying to take my channel. This was I set myself up for this one too, technically, but that you trying to get you trying to get my channel taken for me to say what I was thinking just for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna say it. That okay.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
You see now, AJ, look. Listen, Linda, listen. I thought so too when you were saying it.
Devil's Linda. Oh Lord. Oh, that was good. That was good.
Apparently it's 3D printed plastic and it's not a plant. Bro, what? Okay, hold on, more.
Out of all the other plants, why that one?
But you just said it wasn't a plant. But now it is? Okay.
Because the white man smokes weed. And you want to be just like your father, the devil.
Interesting.
Hold on. He's talking to black people, right?
Supposed to be.
Okay, I want to back it up. Listen to this. He's talking to the lost sheep, right? Because we're lost. And now you're telling them they're the child of the devil? Hold on.
Smokes weed. And you want to be just like your father, the devil.
That's not a very good way to tell people to come back to their father. Or who is it? So that answered my question. Your father is the devil too. Okay, good. At least we are on the same page.
Your father, the white man, is the devil.
So the white man is my father. Bro, make up your mind. Is God my father, the white man my father, or the white man is my oppressor? Which one is it? You got me all kind of confuffled right now. Discombobulated. All them other big words. You got me all twisted up. First, the white man was my oppressor. I took his culture. I take his weed smoking. Now he's my daddy. And my father is also the devil. But I'm from the lost house of Israel.
Lettuce. That's the only thing left. You just need to grow some lettuce now, Marlon. You'll be good.
Good Lord. Or broccoli.
The Bible speaks of. And that devil is going to be punished. It's going to be punished, man. Because of you and who you are And what you've done to my people, we're strung out on drugs, man.
Right. Did he just say he and his people were all strung out on drugs, or did I dream that?
No, he did say that. That's and it, of course, it's because of white people that were strung out on drugs. I didn't know that. I didn't know that white people is why black people get strung out on drugs. I thought, this was just me, I thought that most people would pick up a drug, ingest it, and they did it themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's thinking logically.
You know, Sheila, true. Smoking broccoli. Smoking broccoli will give you gas. Look, if you steam that the wrong way too, it'll look, man. Hey, look, if you got bug problems in your house, which I do, I might have to start eating some steamed broccoli. These flies wouldn't stand a chance. It'd be done. Now they're going to give you a history lesson. Here we go. By the way, thank you, Corey Miner, for posting this.
They created that artificial canal and separated
to separate Africa from Israel.
Right. So
I hope you get what he said. The canal between Israel and Africa was created to. I'll let him flesh it out in a minute here. I don't think you're gonna understand it. Here we go. It's gonna get clear.
Israel was adjacent to Africa. It was the land of Ham, or the land of Ham. It was one land.
Yes.
What the Europeans did, they created that artificial canal and separated
to separate Africa from Israel.
Right. So now most people think, and they created a term called the Middle East. The term Middle East was created by another white man called Alfred Mahan Thayer. So now when you think Israel, people go Middle East, white people, or Arab. They don't think of people like you or I.
Now, I'll let Corey explain it too as well, but I don't know a whole lot of history. I know enough to be dangerous. Let's put it like that. Well, let me not lie. I'm a fair student of it. Fair. This concept that he has that white people, and now remember, he says this about lost tribes, right? Okay, that's what you said, lost tribes, right? If you're trying to tell me that it wasn't until white men created this canal to separate Egypt from Israel, or whatever you say that was, and Ham, Shem, and all that nonsense. Anyway, is that when you lost your identity? That wasn't that long ago, was it? I mean, it wasn't in ancient times that happened. That happened like, I think nearly what, it wasn't the BCs. I think so. So again, I'm trying to figure out how you. My concept is this: how did white people, Europeans, when they weren't around, by the way, how did Europeans, when they weren't called Europeans at the time, create this divide? Can you please tell me that, Richie? How did Europeans do it if they weren't there? I don't recall Europeans being there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm brain damaged, but I do not recall Europeans, seeing as Europe didn't develop until later. Because I do remember Romans being there, and Athenians, and I do remember them, and the Greeks. Europeans?
Well, he's talking about the Suez Canal.
Yes, he is. Yes. Yeah. Could you please tell me the date that the Suez Canal was?
That's what I'm looking at here. The construction of the canal took 10 years, and it opened in 1869.
Okay. So let me get this right. 1869 is when he's thinking that black people were separated from Africa.
That's what it made it sound like.
Yes, he is the same man that thinks vibranium is real. Yes. No kidding you. I'm not kidding you. He does indeed think that vibranium is real.
Watch out, he'll make a shield.
I'm not kidding you.
Israel was adjacent to Africa. It was the land of Ham, or the land of Ham. It was one land.
Yes.
What the Europe?
When was Israel ever part of that other land? When was Israel, let's say, part of Egypt? Well, there's your first issue, but let's continue.
Europeans did. They created that artificial canal.
It's not artificial if they actually made it, though. The canal cannot be artificial.
It's a fake canal.
If they actually made it. I don't think he got blocked. I think he left because he knew he got caught as a black Hebrew Israelite. I don't think he didn't get blocked.
And separated
To separate
Yes.
Africa from Israel.
Right. So now
So the canal that he's speaking of is the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal, go look at the date when the Suez Canal was created. First of all, the Suez Canal is not even in Israel.
Again, and I'm glad Corey said it, but I'm going to preface this with saying, because they don't believe the land of Israel that's there now is the original land of Israel. In their minds, the original land of Israel is Africa. This is why I tell people, these people should not be taking them seriously. Okay? So let's start with their origins. A man by the name of Frank Cherry and William Saunders Crowdy were the two individuals that founded the Hebrew Israelite movement. Ironically, it started just around the time that the Suez Canal was implemented. Ain't that kind of weird? So they took this concept and they ran with it, okay? And they thought themselves to be the original descendants of, Hebrews. So I'm going to read their history here. They both claim to have revelations in which they believe that God told them that African Americans are descendants of the Hebrews in the Christian Bible. Cherry established that the Church of the Living God, the pillar ground of truth for all nations, in 1886. What was the year that Suez Canal was built again?
1869.
Okay.
That's when it was opened.
All right. So you see some things happening already? Okay, cool. Now you're going to start seeing some more stuff like that. Crowdy founded the Church of God and Saints of Christ in 1896. Cherry taught the Talmud was authoritative, that Jesus would return in the year 2000, which didn't happen. And in a square earth surrounded by 3 layers of heaven, that's what he believed. The playing of the piano and the collection of tithes during Black Hebrew Israelite worship was forbidden by Cherry, who also taught the eastward direction of prayer, kind of like, who else? Who does that? There was another group that does that. What's that religious group that does that? They always put down mats and stuff, and they behead people. Anyway, you all know who that is. I'm not going to say the name because I'm going to get my channel taken if I say their name. I'll definitely get it taken if I say their name.
Anti-Hebrew.
Yeah, anti-Hebrew folks. Yes. Oddly enough, weird. Anyway, these people are just different. The eastward direction of prayer, and denigrated white Jews as interlopers. The Church of God and Saints of Christ, originating in Kansas, retained elements of messianic connections to Jesus. Another early key figures was William Christian. The pioneers of the movement were, guess what? Listen to this. The pioneers of this movement were Freemasons.
That does not surprise me.
Freemasons, and it was strongly influenced by Masonic traditions. In late 19th century, Cherry's and Crowdy's followers continued to propagate the claim that they were the biological descendants of the Israelites. During the following decades, many more Black Hebrew congregations were established. Similar groups selected elements of Judaism and adopted them within the structure similar to that of the Black Church. After Cherry's death in 1963, his son, Prince Benjamin F. Cherry, took over leadership of the movement. Ironic that they would pick a white man's group, the Freemasons, to set their foundations on, while denigrating the same group that they were basing all of their iconic religious ideas upon. Secondarily, they don't have a home based on anything historical. They lie a lot because what they really are is a hateful bunch of bigots that have no ground in truth. They do not like themselves, nor do they actually like the own people that they claim to provide for. What they really want is to start a race war in order to eradicate Black Americans off the face of the earth. They work for the Freemasons. The reason we're bringing this to people's attentions is so that you stop following these morons. They are intent on trying to kick off a race war, knowing full well that Black America cannot win that war. You will not win if you go up against anything white right now. You are outnumbered. Completely outnumbered, outskilled, out everything. If you take your ignorant Black behind to try and do something with these idiots, you're going to die. And they know it. The Freemasons are a group of people that have no regard for anybody but themselves. And if they can limit the amount of people they have to control, they will do it. That's why your people that started this whole Hebrew Israelite movements are the same people that are trying to kill you, the same people that were behind Planned Parenthood, the same people that are behind Margaret Sanger, the same people that had people like the Mustache Man. But you call yourself a Black Hebrew Israelite. So, another history question from the Bible for Richie. When the descendants of Jacob were mentioned, were any of the descendants of Jacob within the Bible? In fact, you know what? Let me go back to the real question.
Okay.
Jacob and Esau.
Correct.
Were they two different races in the womb?
No.
No, but they said they were because one was red.
Well, it's still
technically it says his hair was red, but I mean,
yeah, but no, he was still of the race was not. They were of the same lineage as Jacob, because you had Jacob and you had not Jacob. Jacob and Esau's mother was
Rebecca, right? Isaac and Rebecca, right?
So Isaac and Rebecca, so they were direct descendants of Abraham, who we know is the father of many nations,
whole nation,
the father of the Jews,
right? So we're gonna do some clinical studies here. Okay, we're gonna go to look up something here.
Okay.
All right, let's try and do this the correct way, not the Black Hebrew Israelite way. All right.
Okay. Where are you headed?
We are going to Genesis chapter 25.
Okay.
And we're going to read from 19. Let's go from 19. This is a genealogy of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah as wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. Now Isaac pleaded with the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord granted his plea, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. But the children struggled together within her. And she said, if all is well, why am I like this? She went and inquired of the Lord. And the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb. Right. 2 nations.
There it is.
All right. So let's go with this. Is a nation solely based on race?
No.
But it says right there are 2 nations, Richie. So that means there are 2 different races right there.
Well, 2 people shall be separated from your body. One people will be stronger than the other. That could be where he's getting nation, not the fact it's 2 different colors.
Oh, okay. So then let's go to the translation for real quick. Okay, let's do it. Let's go with what does the original language say for nations there?
Well, what I'm looking at is the Tanakh, which is done by the Jewish Publication Society. And you're looking at verse 22. It says, but the children struggled in her womb. And she said, if so, why do I exist? She went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord answered her, 2 nations are in your womb. 2 separate peoples shall issue from your body. One people shall be mightier than the other, and the older shall serve the younger.
Good. Now, when it says people.
Yep. Peoples.
Does the original mean race?
No. People.
What does it mean?
Means people.
It means people, right? Just straight up people.
2 different people will form 2 different nations.
Okay. Did you know that when my kids leave their home here, they have their own people? Did you know I will have 5 different peoples coming from my household? From my wife's womb will be coming multiple nations. Why? Because they will have their own that they branch into. 2 separate peoples. Even when my kids have kids, they have separate peoples. I don't think that the majority of these people understand, one, English, and that is their biggest problem. They're not educated individuals. And I don't mean college educated. I don't think they are past the level of 3rd grade. This is not, that one is not an insult. That's a fact. They take the dumbest of society and put them in this group, and they put them at the front with a microphone in their hand. They will blatantly read something, read it out loud, and say something completely opposite of what it just said, which tells me they're a remedial. Now, if you can look at this and say there are 2 nations in your womb and think there are 2 different races, a white, and automatically assume white and black and not some other race, you're an idiot. You're telling me there are only 2 races at that time? That's the only 2 could exist, white and black. That's it.
Or you're going to insinuate that Rebecca cheated on Isaac with some other dude and got pregnant, and then it split, and that's why you have
a split egg. Yeah. Now, okay, so let's go further down and read what we can get some more definitions for their stupidity. Okay. So when her days were fulfilled for her to give birth, indeed they were twins in her. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess that puts that to rest. No, it's not 2 different races. They're twins. Okay. All right. So same father, same mother, twins. That's what it says. Okay, cool. And the first came out red. He was like a hairy garment all over. So they called his name Esau. Afterward, his brother came out and took the hand of Esau's, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. So his name was called Jacob. Now, I'm not quite sure people understand. So maybe Richie can help us out again.
Okay.
Red. What does it mean in the original? What's the word, the term there?
Well, actually, it says the first one emerged red, like a hairy mantle all over. So they named him Esau, which is basically kind of the Hebrew word for hair.
So his hair was red.
Yes.
Huh. Now, I had this fight back some time ago with another idiot, and I think y'all remember. It's a short now on my channel. And the red idea, he thinks, is a portrait of what it would mean to be. I think he thought that was black, which I'm not quite sure how that works if you think that the original Jacob would have been the black one, unless you think the red is the white one. And if that's the case, then I'm still confused about which one's the better one. So let's go this way. If he was red, the hair was red, can black people birth a person with red hair? Yes. Can a white person
birth their lineage? Yes.
Right. So can a white person birth somebody with red hair?
As long as it's in their lineage, yes.
Okay. Can a white person birth somebody with black hair?
Yes.
Okay. So you can't tell the race from the hair.
No.
Okay. So there you go. All right. So right off the top, it's a stupid concept to think that the skin is the only marker because you hear the hair was red. Now, if it was all about him being a hairy dude, which you can tell because he tricked his father into giving him the blessing by putting hair on his arm and smelling like outdoor animal. Okay. The question then remains this: how did we get the concept of race where none was mentioned and they were twins? Secondarily, what race, and I do mean race, I don't mean what region they came from because they were dark skinned and the sun and all that crap. What race was Rebecca and Isaac?
Well, Isaac would have been.
What race?
Isaac would have been Hebrew, but according to what I'm reading, Rebecca was Armenian.
Okay. But what race is that? We don't know.
Correct.
We know where they were from.
Yep.
And lineage, but we have no concept of what race they were. Maybe because that's not a thing. Maybe because race isn't a thing at all. Maybe because it's a demarker that we decide to come up with, but it's not actually, because we are the human race. We have many shades. We all came from one, right? Adam, Eve, connection, one. So there is no such thing as race. So anybody making it about it are idiots, which is why I say that again. Black Hebrew Israelites are some of the dumbest people you'll ever find on the face of God's green earth. And they're proof that not everybody should have a platform to stand on. So the boys grew, and Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a mild man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
Correct.
Now, they say, I do believe that they say that the white man is a descendant of Esau and the black man is the descendant of Jacob. That's what they assume. I'm assuming that's what they believe. My question is, how can you blame the white man for your stupidity then? Look, hear me out. If you want to blame somebody for how things went, let's recap the story of Esau and Jacob. Who was the one that sold what to who?
Right. Esau sold his birthright because because he was hungry and Jacob had food. And Jacob said, if you sell me your birthright, I'll give you the food. And then Jacob, along with his mother, deceived, which is where the name Jacob means deceiver, deceived Isaac in dressing Jacob up like Esau so that Jacob would get the favored blessing of Isaac. Because back then, the oldest son got the blessing and there was only one blessing given out.
Okay. So let me get this right. I want to. All right, let's do this. Let's do this here. So let me get this right. I want to make sure I have the lineage right. Okay. So if we were to say that Esau was of the white persuasion, right? Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And Jacob was of the black persuasion, right? Okay. Then that would mean that the black man tricked the white man.
Based on that logic, yes.
So who's the real evil one again? I'm just saying, I mean, based on what their version of, evil is. I'm still trying to figure out how this works. I'm sincerely confused about it. Like I really am. Because I'm pretty sure they say that the Edomites are who the white people are, right? And the Hebrew Israelite people say that Edomites are the white ones. So let me. I'm reading from their little thing here.
Okay.
Before Jacob and Esau were born, it was predicted, and the children struggled together with the womb, and what we just read. The translation, "the elder shall serve the younger," is not correct. That's what they're saying. The Hebrew may preferably be understood to say one will serve the other, meaning that at times the elder would have predominance and at other times the younger. Now, you can tell me if that's correct or not.
The older shall serve the younger, which means that in this regard, Esau would serve Jacob.
Right. Okay, cool. All right. I just want to make sure I got that right. Okay, cool. Okay. And so going forward now, the question then remains, Esau hated and intended to kill Jacob.
Yep.
The descent describes Esau as bearing a grudge against Jacob for all time. Hatred against Israel usually takes the form of Jew hatred, but it also can express itself as resentment of the USA or anti-British sentiment. I don't know where they're getting all that from, but they
far-fetched.
They add a bunch of stuff. Esau was the firstborn, but sold his birthright to Jacob. But later, Jacob received by subterfuge a paternal blessing that was supposed to go to Esau. Esau resents this and ever since has strived to displace Jacob. Since only Judah is openly recognizable as Israel, these efforts are directed against the Jews. So I'm still, again, confused about their stance on which one caused which one to be evil. Are the Edomites the perpetrators or the victims? That's my biggest question. I'm just absolutely confused about it.
Yeah. Well, if you're saying that, God, that is kind of a.
You get my problem here?
Yeah, I do. There's not an easy way to answer it.
Okay. But they seem to think that the white man, after being deceived by the black man, went about to displace the black man, but it never said that that would happen at all. So I'm trying to figure out where they got that. So let's read on. Jacob cooked stew. Esau came from the field and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, please feed me some of that same red stew, for I'm weary. Therefore, his name was called Edom. Okay, here's the first intimation of the word. But Jacob said, sell me your birthright as of this day. And Esau said, look, I am about to die. So what is this birthright to me? Then Jacob said, swear to me as of this day. So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and stew of lentils. Then he ate and drank, arose and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Okay, so now we have that. Okay, we have that. Now the question still remains. How did we go from that to a black Hebrew Israelite taking on the opposite of what the verse says?
And this would be ugly, and this is my opinion, but it's a way to play the victim. You get a lot more sympathy and a lot more people listening to you when you can play victim.
Thank you.
That's just my opinion.
Thank you very much. I'm glad somebody had to say it, because at some point, we have to get real with things. Okay, we got to get real with things. You can't have it both ways. You can't insinuate something and think everybody's just going to just buy it, because it's stupid to think that's how this went, because that is not how it went down. But if you want to go any further, let's go a little further to 26. Okay, let's go to 26 and see what it says.
Okay.
If it has any extra bearing on this thought process that they have. There was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham, and Isaac went to Abimelech, the king of the Philistines in Gerar. Then the Lord appeared to him and said, do not go down to Egypt, live in the land which I shall tell you, dwell in that land, and I will bless you, and you and your descendants, and I will give these lands, and I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father, and I will make your descendants multiply as the stars in the heaven. I will give your descendants all these land and the seed of the nation, and all the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, my laws. So Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked about his wife, and he said, this is my sister. She said she is afraid to say. She said, she is my wife, because he thought, at least lest this man of this place kill me for Rebekah, because she is so beautiful to behold. Now it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked through the window and saw, and there was Isaac showing endearment to Rebekah, his wife. I'm assuming he saw them making out. Then Abimelech called Isaac and said, quite obvious she is your wife. So how could you say she is my sister? Isaac said to him, because I said, lest I die on her account. And Abimelech said, what has this have done to us? One of the people might soon be lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us. So Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he who touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Now hold a minute. For a people that was so messed up, you sure seem to have a lot of favor on you. And a lot of the times, if you say you are the lost house of Israel, you sure seem to rebel against the God you say you love so much and put yourself in calamity an awful lot of times. Like, it almost seems as though you are intentional about being an idiot. If this is describing your people, I don't think it is, but you think it is. So if it is you, is it really white people's fault that you went into captivity? For me, it's a simple question. How could white people have put you in captivity when they weren't around? First. Secondly, how is it that when he kept telling you that your disobedience kept putting you there, you blame white people for it? I'm just, you know what? I might be inclined to believe your viewpoint that you're Israel, because today you're disobedient too. You complain about going to jail, but you disobey the law. So what? I guess you might be Israel. You blame everybody else. You still blame the white man for some stuff that you do. So you know what? You know what? You sold me. I'm a black Hebrew Israelite now. I'm sold on it. I fully believe you. You are Israel indeed. You're rebellious just like them. You don't listen to nothing God say. And then you want to turn around and play like, I didn't know. This concept is so asinine, it's not even funny at some points. But the reasons we want to talk about it is because there are more, actually, believe it or not, there are more people actually following this nonsense. But more and more black people are following into it. The problem here is this. If you fall into this nonsense, you're going to end up erased. You're going to end up erased and badly erased. But then again, I told you that your people started this out in the 1900s to get you this. They wanted you gone. The ironic thing is that they were working on twofold missions. And I'm going to give you all now the true history of things. The twofold mission was this: political, religious. If you remember, Margaret Sanger said this: we have to get the preacher on board. What did the founders of the Black Hebrew Israelite thing? They took from every religion and put it into one thing, especially the what? The Black church. They started off Freemasons. All of them had one intent and one end game. The end game was domination. They put all kinds of things in your way and you bought it hook, line, and sinker. And here you are carrying their own bucket of water for them, thinking it's yours. People trying to wake you up and you act like a fool, just saying, no, we special. No, you special, all right? Special needs. You special ed.
Living talent.
I give you that. But people, if you follow these people, you are going to end up dead. I'm telling you now, you're going to end up dead. Because there will be a war that will start that they cannot finish. You saw how they're training. Who they going to beat like that? Come on. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Name one group of white, and I mean the weakest group of white people you can think of. They're going to be afraid of that. If they're going after white people, name one. Rednecks alone go wipe y'all out. And they're not even training. We're talking about 400-pound rednecks going to just wipe you out. They got hogs that could take you out. They don't even need to fire a gunshot, not one time. All they got to do is see you coming, release the pigs. You're gone. You can't outrun a boar. You cannot outrun a sow. You cannot do it. So I want to see what you're going to do. It's ironic that they go after people that are frail, like the ones that the city dwellers, but you can't go after the ones that that are actually going to mess with you. You're not going to go after, give me a good country name. Give me a good white country name.
Oh, Lord. Country?
Yeah. Gene. You're not going to go after Gene. You're definitely not going to go after Gene.
Mean Gene.
Mean Gene. You're not going to go after Gene. Cletus? You think Cletus is afraid of you? Cletus isn't afraid of you. Bubba ain't afraid of you neither. So the thing about it is this. They are a race-centered religion. And they're not really a religion, but they're using the context of religion to do exactly what Massa had told them to do. They act like they're against Massa, but technically they're working exactly for Massa. All of the racism that they spout is happening to them. They actually are promoting in their own rhetoric. They push it. And if you push that, obviously it's going to come back to get you. And they don't care. Okay, why else would you be promoting this kind of nonsense in the streets? Telling black people to go and fight against somebody that has nothing against them, didn't do them anything. Telling random white people to kiss their shoes, lick their boots. And if somebody decides to put up a confrontation of them, then it's racist. Really? You antagonizing people, and if they decide to pop you in the face, they're the racist ones? You approach, okay, I'm going to tell you this. You approach a random white dude and his girl and try to get his girl to kiss your boot, you're losing your leg. I'm telling you right now, from the hip, he going to yank that thing off of you. I can't wait to see that happen to you too. I'm not a proponent of violence, but I'm not avoiding it either. You're going to mess with the wrong one and meet the right one. I don't know how else to tell you this. But this is the nonsense they push. The Black Hebrew Israelite movement has nothing to do with Israel, nor do they have anything to do with God. They're not godly people. They're satanic. They're from the Freemason movement, and they follow the devil. They're hell-bent on making people fight for no reason at all. They have no truth in them. Nothing they propose has anything good to offer anybody. They hate black people, and they hate black people because they work for the actual racists of this world. That's their issue. Their hope is to make as many black people so angry that they act up and die in the streets, and they can have an even better platform to stand on. See, we told you, and keep getting more and more and more people ended. Ask yourself this: what sane black man thinks vibranium exists? I think people are gonna need proof. I think people are gonna need proof.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
You want proof for this one?
Bring it on, lay it on me.
All right. I want you. I need to find this one here. It was Corey that had it on his channel. He really thinks vibranium is real.
That is crazy.
If anybody in the chat remembers seeing that and can find that for me, please send it to me.
Vibranium is real.
Yes. And it's the same black dude that you saw talking about that imaginary line, you know, the Suez Canal.
The Suez Canal.
He's the one. He's the one that thinks vibranium is real. And he thinks the white man stole it from the black man. He did. He really did think that.
What a maroon. As they would say in the old cartoon days, what a maroon.
What a maroon. If anybody knows where you can find that clip, because I know I have seen it. I have seen it with my own eyes. I just need to find it again. But he does believe that vibranium existed. It's a real thing to him. Now the question still remains this: how did they get from Jacob and Esau and red and no other color attached to Jacob, that this was a black and white issue? How did they get that Esau hates Jacob because of him being black, which is what it is now, which is what racism is. It doesn't because of birthright. I don't think white people hate black people because of birthright. I'm pretty sure they say but white people hate black people because of the skin color. So how did you get to that point? How did we get to that point from the scripture that you people keep reading? I don't know how we got here.
Trying to see if I can find it myself.
But in any case, their thought process is one of an absolute depraved mindset, absolutely depraved mindset. I'm going to read something else here from their, okay, here we go. Now I'm going to name you the amount of branches they have to: Commandment Keepers, African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem, Beth Shalom Benai Zaken, Ethiopian Hebrew Congregation, Church of the Living God, Church of God and Saints of Christ, Orthodox Church of God and Saints of Christ, International Israelite Board of Rabbis, Israelite Church of God and Jesus Christ, Israelite Rabbinical Academy, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, Nation of Yahweh, and One West Camp. I don't know how many other things they could add to this, but
I don't think they can.
The Black Hebrew Israelite teachings combines elements from a wide range of sources, incorporating their own interpretations of Christianity and Judaism and other influences. Of course, we said Freemasonry and New Thought. Many choose to identify as Hebrew Israelites or Black Hebrews rather than Jews. Black Hebrew Israelite composed of numerous groups of varying beliefs and practices. Black Hebrew Israelites are not associated with mainstream Jewish community, and they do not meet the criteria that are used to identify people as Jewish by the Jewish community. They are also outside the fold of mainstream Christianity. And just so people know, they tried to migrate. Those two guys went to try and assimilate over in Israel. They were exiled. They were denied entry. They were removed from the land, kicked out. So for all this idea that the Israel place that they were talking about, the Suez Canal thing, for all intents and purposes, they can't even go home. They're not identified with any of the Israel movements. None of them. None of the Jews, no Hebrew, nothing. They have no links to them. Because if you go there telling the Jews that you're black and that's what makes you a Jew, you're not going to get anything done.
No.
They were rejected. So last I checked, the Jews were not... my internet ain't acting up. My internet's been fine. That might be your internet, man. That is your internet. Mine is good. Did you see me freeze up, Richie? I didn't freeze up.
Well, I think it could have been my internet, but you froze up for like just a quick second, but then you kept going.
Yeah,
so
I didn't freeze nothing up, man. That's on you, man. That's your internet. Yeah, they have been watching a bunch of comic books. They have. The concept that they have does not make sense, one. And two, it is one of those things that they have been pushing to try and create a race segregation, a war. And when this war does eventually, I mean, I don't think it'll be very big. It might end up being like, I don't know, a couple of days. And then they'll all be put down and you'll never hear them talk again because they'll be shut up. The leaders won't fight. They'll put a bunch of bodies in front of them. They don't know how to fight. They have no concept of what a fight will look like, but they want it. And if some crazy white person that is an actual racist decide to say, we're going to do it, you're done. Like at any point, if real racists decide to show up and you are the target, trust me, Hebrew Israelites, you're going to die. I'm telling you now, and they will have no problem going to jail. True racists will not care to go to jail as long as you're gone. So if you can keep acting up, keep acting like you're big, bad, and bold, and you could do something. You can't do nothing against real racist white people. You seem to forget that white people, you might think they have no culture. You know what their culture is? Conquering. If it's one thing white people know how to do, is conquer. All right, they know how to whoop. They know how to whoop behind. Okay, they know how to do that. They know how to mentally and physically exhaust people. They can go to places and thrive where you cannot do it, especially as soft as you guys are. You won't make it. A true racist right now is still being prepped and ready for you, and you cannot stop them. They don't care to go to jail. And when they do what they want to do, you will not exist anymore. So please, intelligent black people, stop listening to these people. They will get you erased. And then they will laugh at you. They'll call you the weak link because you weren't able to win. I really am trying to help you out here. But if at the end of it, you don't want the help and you would prefer to expire, you're not going to see me shed no tears. You're not going to see me do nothing about that. You're not going to get me mentioning your name. There'll be no parades. I'm not going to have no wake for you because I tried to warn you. This nation that they call the Hebrew Israelites are trying to kill Black America. They're working for the Freemasons. They're working technically for the KKK and the racist white people on their behalf in order to erase you. I don't like getting political here, but this is just factual stuff. They're using religion to get you into a mindset to feel as though they have something to offer you. Anybody that decides to wake up one morning and put on a shawl and walk around like a dang Power Ranger, you don't need to listen to. You got some mental problems, bro. The Power Rangers haven't been relevant for forever. For forever. Nobody cares about Power Rangers no more. But apparently they do. I don't even see them wearing the ephod even. Like I've not seen them dressed properly like the way Abraham would have dressed, or even Aaron would have dressed, or Moses would have dressed. I've not seen them doing that. In fact, the colors they do wear seems to represent, hold on, the purple. All of that is those are Freemason colors, aren't they?
Well, not only that, but purple is typically, at least in the Old Testament and whatnot, purple was a sign of royalty.
The royalty, yeah. I'm just saying, they're giving you the signs all up front. The gold and the purple and all that stuff. Hey, but if y'all want to do it, feel free to do it. Feel free to do it. I don't need none of that to prove my lineage. My lineage came from my mama and my daddy. and I just pass my lineage on to my kids. And the only thing I identify anymore is in the blood of Christ. And if you don't like that, then that's too bad for you. If you don't want the blood of Christ, then let me do it the old way. The blood of Christ compels you. The
power of Christ and the blood
power
of Christ
compels you. I'll exercise you in a heartbeat. So so my last question to you is this.
Okay.
In all of the historical documents that you have come across in terms of translations and the children of Israel, the New Testament, and all that stuff, is there any place that you can recall where there was a massive emphasis on the differentiation between one race and another, or was there more of a differentiation between the people that obeyed and disobeyed?
It was more about people more about peoples, not so much races or colors, because you have Jews and you have Gentiles, and Gentiles was everything that wasn't a Jew. So I mean, so you're looking at people, you're not looking at skin color. So that's my opinion.
There you go, people. From the scholar himself. I keep telling him I'm not a scholar. He went to school for this stuff. I didn't go to school. I just fleece from people that know stuff, and I just listen to them, and I don't proof nothing. I just take it because I'm an ignorant Negro. I'm just kidding. I'm not an ignorant one, but I am Negro. I'm looking for a comment that I saw.
The blood of Christ. You're not. You can't use that.
That's true. I can't. It's off limits now.
Yep.
Where is that comment? Where is that comment? Looking for it. No, I think it went up too far up. It was from that individual, not the one that I brought up before. It's another individual that came in here. Nope, can't find it. I think they knew who they are, but they kind of backed off of the statements for a bit there. So I think the smoke was starting to rise up through the nostrils, and they didn't want it. I can understand that. I wouldn't want it either. But if you're a Hebrew Israelite reading or watching this program and are upset by it, I'm glad I accomplished what I was hoping to do.
Spoken like a true Caribbean.
If I pissed you off in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I will pat myself on the back later tonight. If at any point in time that you think that you are froggy, I welcome the hopping. Oh, there they are. This individual here.
Jesus is royalty, therefore he can wear the
I don't even know what they're.
Well, what was about when you were talking about making the, what colors are they wearing? Purple, purple and gold, and I'm like, well, and it made a comment about purple being royalty. So I don't know if that's where this comes from, of her saying that even Jesus wore purple. Well, Jesus was royalty; he was the Son of God. Therefore, he can wear whatever color he wants to wear, and it would be considered royalty.
Again, look. I try. I really do. I try not to, but they kind of make it. They kind of make it easy. Y'all know what I mean, right? I mean, you know what I mean? So, nah, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. There is a demarker. Laila, come on. There's a right and wrong. Okay. There's a line in the sand, and I think we have to start being okay with putting the line in the sand. This idea of the, my right, your right, my understanding, there is a right and wrong. And I think for too long, we've just kind of you know what I mean? Just call a spade a spade. It is what it is. And it's okay to have that because it's what the book says. For me, I'll say for me, I am done trying to make other people feel as though their viewpoint is valid when it is absolutely not. I do not care how you came by your viewpoint. If it's a stupid viewpoint, I'm calling it a stupid viewpoint, especially when I can prove it's a stupid viewpoint. If it's a pointless viewpoint, I'm calling it pointless, especially when I can prove it's pointless. If it's asinine, I'm going to call it asinine when I can prove it being asinine. I have no problem doing that. I'm not feeling bad for that either. I have no concern about your feelings at that point, like literally none. So it's not even a matter of let them think. Yeah, I will let them think, but I don't mean I'm not going to say something. You know, no. Not here. Not here. In either case. We'll be back to talk about Creflo Dollar in the morning. Yeah. Creflo said some stuff, and I think we need to, because it'll go hand in hand with everything we've covered this week. Okay? We'll cover everything that we did this week. And it will, trust me, it'll incorporate it. It will incorporate it. Because I think what you're seeing happening in the church world today is a massive exposure. And after it's done, anybody still stuck in that way, I think, unfortunately, it might be permanently stuck there. I don't see how else they will break free after seeing it and not breaking free. It's just, So, in any case, any parting thoughts for the people in the audience, sir? Any idea when you'll be back on?
Oh gosh, I've really got to sit down and now that things are starting to straighten out a little bit as far as my time frame, I'm gonna have to really sit down and figure out when would be a good time to go live. This may be something I have to do on the weekend, or because if I take my lunch at 11 or whatnot, then by noon you're on. So I don't know if I could. I'm not going to be able to extend my lunch period out further than that. But
you can pick
I know. I got to get back on it. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna try to sit down either end of this week or this weekend and try to figure out when it's going to be a good time I can start doing this again.
Well, we missed you, so so
I've missed you guys. It's really been a lot of survival here lately than
that's everywhere, life. Man. That seems to be going around.
And I'm over it. I'm over the survival. I want to start living. I'm just over survival. Been surviving for about 3 years now, so I'm tired of surviving. I'm ready to start living.
Isn't that Beyonce? I'm a survivor.
No, I ain't. We ain't talking about that witch. I ain't talking about her.
In case he didn't wear purple. They put it on him. At the same time as a crown, just so you know. Anyway, context matters there, Sequoia. But maybe not to you. In any case, I think that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day and a whole nother razzing, and I don't have the time for that. I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time. I got to go prep for Savage Patriots, which are coming up later today. Make sure you all tune in 6:30 Eastern on Rumble and on YouTube for Savage Patriots. Too Strong will be trying to. I'm not going to. I'm tired of committing to it, and it's not happening. We're going to try and go live at least once a week, but please understand it's very difficult because we're trying to also put out 5 videos a day.
Wow.
And I don't know if you all aware of what kind of commitment that takes, but 5 videos a day, recording and producing it's a chore. So, and then to go live on top of that, we even made a joke in the back room that we might just go live and just sleep on screen.
Turn your camera off. Nobody know.
No, just leave the camera on and just be like this the whole time. Just go live and sleep and see what people do. And hey, we might go viral for sleeping live. You never know. It just depends. So we'll see what happens.
Or like a guy I knew in college who could go to sleep with his eyes open like this. He'd look at you, don't even know he's asleep. That was not Marlon, by the way. You knew when Marlon was out.
When I was out, I was out. When I was out, I was out. That's Frank. So we'll catch you guys later in the day. Tomorrow for a Creflo Dollar, and then Monday. Oh, that's what I forgot. Monday, I finally got to nail down Corey Minor for a live. So he will be joining. He'll be joining me. Smart Christian Channel guy will be joining me for a conversation. And no, it will not be about Marcus Rogers, and it will not be about Psycho. It will be about a passage of scripture. Okay, that's why I'm picking his brain, because he is a scholar in the book, and I want to get his viewpoint on a specific thing. So, and again, him and I don't see eye to eye on everything, but what we don't see eye to eye on isn't salvation based. I just want to make sure that we people understand that. So we'll have him on Monday and have a discussion. Marcus Rogers do everything, AJ. that dude is. You know what? You know what? Since you talk about, I'm gonna talk about him Friday. I'll share what I mean. I'll Friday. I will do it Friday.
Who was the other one? It wasn't Rogers. It was Michael Todd. That's who I was thinking.
Oh yeah, that Michael Todd's a whole nother fake weights and all that stuff. That's a whole nother that femmy. That little feminized, effeminate fella. Nobody care about him. So we'll be back 6:30 Eastern today. Savage Patriots. We'll be talking about Joe Biden and his so-called cancer diagnosis and whether or not he actually is alive. So catch up with this then. Love you guys. Mean it. Scrolling at the bottom, you know what to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But make sure you talk to God. He'll tell you what to do. I'm not telling you what to do. People just say you have this option. So here's the option. You know what to do about it. Appreciate you guys, all your time, effort, energy, everything, all of it. Thank you, Richie, for joining.
Thanks, Rob.
And we shall vibe on a different day. Wisdom calls to you from the streets. So please, 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 please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight the dreams, for if dreams die, rely on yourself.